We're less than 2 weeks out from Tennessee football starting fall camp. We've concluded SEC Media Days. The SEC Media today voted on the order of finish for the conference. And I'm telling you right now, after this week, listening to guys on the SEC network, people on the SEC network talk, the different pundits who talked about it, now the SEC voting today. If you're this Tennessee football team and you go into this season, don't have a little extra motivation. You don't have a little extra pep in your step after what all's been said this week. I don't really know what else to say at that point. Hit that like, share. It is free to subscribe as well. The media voted today. Tennessee is picked to finish 9th in the conference. Fair or not is the question on this. I could probably argue both ways with it. Here's what we're looking at from the outside. And they did pick the all-SEC teams today. Jermod McCoy, first team. Boo Carter, Arion Carter, third team, and that's it. Nobody from the offense made any of the SEC teams along the way. If you're Joey Aguilar, who I think when it's all said and done, you cannot discount the experience that he's had. He has played against Power 4 teams before. He has not had the type of talent around him that he's going to have this year at Tennessee. To me, this story this year of Joey Aguilar in Tennessee could be one of those type storybook type story if it works out along the way. Here's the problem with it all this year. And I'm on record. I'm saying 9-3 because I've got to see this team beat Georgia. It's been so long. And they have not beaten Florida, nor have they beaten Alabama on the road since 2003. That's 22 years that we're going on right now. And based on Josh Heupel's road woes since he's been here, those two, I have to see it. I have to see it to happen. But the rest of the schedule, to me, is very favorable. And some of your other tougher games outside of the big three are at home. I mean, you've got Mississippi State and Kentucky on the road. They really should take care of business in those two games. Yes, I know, though, we've got South Carolina 2022. We've got some of the 2023 games. We've got Arkansas last year to look back on, in that we can never take a road game for granted. Going to Kentucky, they should really wipe the floor with Kentucky this year. I think Kentucky's going to have a tough year this year. But basically what you're looking at, I think the media and people like Tennessee's defense and potential. It's that offense, though. Quarterback, they're saying unproven. Wide receivers, unproven. You lost Dylan Sampson, who was your SEC player of the year. Now you got Miles Kitzelman back at tight end, but you also lost Cooper Mays along the way. Javante Spraggins, you lost. You're going to have basically 4 new starters on the offensive line this year. I would venture to say in most of those spots you're upgrading. Cooper Mays will be missed, though. Wide receiver, I mean, we lost Brew McCoy. You lost Dante Thornton. Guys that did a good job, but can dudes do better? And I don't know so much the last couple of years has been all on the wide receivers. Now, if they drop passes, yes, that's on them. You can't overlook that. But quarterback play, I'm still going out on a limb, and I'm going to make the bold prediction that Joey Aguilar will be better than Nico Iamaleava. And what it comes down to for me is I'm not saying the guy's done, all right? I just don't think last year, and surely he would have gotten better going forward. But I'll tell you, based on the spring practice reports we had up until Nico leaving, I was not feeling real good about it. It just seemed like it was the same old thing. And what I look at on quarterbacks from one year to the next is, do you get better? Do you progress as you've gone along? Last 2 years, the quarterbacks have not progressed. And Nico most definitely didn't. He got stale along the way. Now, he did some good things along. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just saying he was total crap last year, but he wasn't good either. Not SEC playing. I don't care about the non-conference games. They won those, when he puts up big numbers against Chattanooga and Kent State. Great, whatever. It didn't translate to SEC play. It never even got close to it along the way. Joey Aguilar can throw. He can throw the football. He's not afraid to throw the football. And if you look at highlights of Joey Aguilar, he can go through his progressions as well. I think this offensive line, again, I like this offensive line where they're set up. The big key is going to be, do they go Pendleton at center or do they go Satterwhite with it? Could they go Pendleton at center and then maybe you go a Sham Umaroff, a Jesse Perry at one of the guard spots along the way? Tight end, I like the potential there. I really think this receiving core's got a lot of potential. It's just a matter of putting it together. And I'll tell you, Kelsey Pope's on the clock this year. He's on the clock, and a lot of this offensive staff coming into this year are on the clock. Joey Halsley, Kelsey Pope, Glenn Ellerby. They're all out of contract at the end of this year. So these guys are coaching for their jobs. And based on who Tennessee's added behind the scenes, Seth Luttrell, if he comes in and has a big say, maybe Halsley doesn't get the job done, there's your in-house promotion, whether right or not. But Luttrell will be involved in the offense. And I think a big thing, too, if you look behind the scenes on it, Tennessee's added some really solid coaches behind the scenes this year. The one, that we know, of course, was Mike Eckler leaving. But just looking into this coaching staff right now, and I want to look at that. This is what gives me some confidence this year. Of course, now your special teams coordinators, Evan Crabtree. But guys they had, Coach Chop moved up to the outside linebackers. No other changes with your staff along the way. If you're that defensive staff, we've seen that defense get better every year. Only problem is the last couple years with the offense, we've seen it regress a little. Now your support staff, guys you look at, like with special teams, John Bonamego, come from the NFL. He's a guy I really like there. I'm just pointing out some guys here. I mentioned Latrell, Marion Hobby coming in, defensive line coach. A Landry Jones who played quarterback in the NFL, who will bring some things to the table as well. Just, I could read all the way down through here. There's all kinds of offensive and defensive analysts on here. But they added experience. They added guys who have had success, at different stops along the way. 9th in the SEC, though. Fair or foul? That's basically what we can look at on it. And here's basically what your order is. And we can debate this one all day long. Texas, they are picked to win the league this year. Georgia's second. I don't think there's any surprise with them, but I'm telling you, and again, Georgia, they're improving at quarterback. Gunnar Stockton, he's improving. Alabama at 3. I'm curious on that one. Alabama, it looks like Ty Simpson is going to quarterback. How will he do in SEC play? He's an unknown this year, and I know that for sure they go to Georgia on the schedule. Alabama doesn't have an easy one. LSU 4, I've seen people calling, this is your Brian Kelly, needs to step up. South Carolina 5. I'm still telling you right now, I think Lenore Sellers is overrated. We'll see. We'll see. I may look stupid on that. It won't be the first time, probably won't be the last on it. Heck of an athlete. When teams put the pressure on him to make him throw the ball, he can't beat teams. That's why they end up with 4 losses. We saw it with Alabama. Ole Miss shut them down. LSU put the pressure. He did a good job with his feet against LSU. He couldn't beat them with the pass. And then Illinois did the same in the bowl game against them also. I don't think South Carolina is a 5th-place team. Could be wrong on that one. Florida 6th. Billy Napier's in a prove-it year. Ole Miss 7th. I would venture to say, but I mean, they're breaking in a new quarterback as well. A&M 8th. A&M might be one that's a little low, depending on their schedule. UT 9th. Oklahoma 10th. Auburn 11th. Missouri 12th. Vanderbilt 13th. Arkansas 14th. Kentucky 15th. Mississippi State 16th. We've got, according to the preseason rankings, the bottom 4 projected in the SEC on the schedule. I don't care where you play them at. You got to win those 4 games right there. Syracuse, an opener. The media was trying to blow that one up this week about, Tennessee needs to watch out on that. Syracuse lost a lot of players this offseason. That, to me, is a game you come out of the gate and make a point. You prove a point coming out of the gate. Then you got ETSU where you can get a lot of guys in, and then it gets real in week 3 with Georgia coming to town. And that's a big one for Josh Heupel because at some point, Josh Heupel has got to beat Georgia. And let's face it, Georgia has had his number every year. It's not really been competitive. Last year was the most competitive, but I would still venture to say that second half Georgia dominated last year. And that comes with Josh Heupel, and that comes with Tim Banks too, getting aggressive. We got to see some aggressiveness in these games out of the defense. We've got to see that with them. I don't know. Maybe they're fair. Again, South Carolina's the big discrepancy I've got. But, again, we're going to find out if Sellers is the real deal this year or not. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I've got to see it from a throwing standpoint, though. But Tennessee's got the bottom 4 on there, okay? Arkansas at home, Kentucky, Mississippi State on the road, Vanderbilt at home as well. You've got to win those 4. Win your 4 non-conference games. That's 8 wins right there. Then it comes down to Oklahoma at home. You should win that one just based on how good Tennessee's been at home under Heupel. And then it comes down to the big 3, Georgia, Florida, Alabama. Worst case to me, it should be 9-3. Worst case on it. Best case, maybe 10-2. I don't know if I think 11-1 is really a lot. That's almost going to require perfect. But man, if you could get Georgia, if you could get them early and get them again, Florida, Alabama on the road, tough to do on the road. We know the house of horrors that's Gainesville. It ain't been much better in Tuscaloosa in the last 22 years either. So, I mean, and most of those have not even been competitive in Tuscaloosa. I would venture, but Gainesville's been more maddening because those felt winnable numerous years, and then they went in and crapped the bed with it. But 9th in the SEC. The bottom line is there is no confidence from the media and a lot of fans in this offense this year. If you're Josh Heupel, if you're this football team and you're not pissed off with this, if you're Josh Heupel and you're supposedly this offensive guru and you're hearing about people not believing in your offense, you better get a little bit pissed off and get a chip on your shoulder and figure out how to fix it this year. Because lots of questions, lots of coaches on basically expiring contracts this year. We're going to see how this team answers. We're going to see how this team comes out in less than 2 weeks. I'm pretty fired up about this season. I'm going to be honest. I'm pretty excited about it. Coming prior to the Nico transfer, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't that excited about it. I am now. I've kind of had my fill for Nico. We don't have to worry about him anymore. We'll see where it goes, whether it's Aguilar, whether it's Merklinger, whether it's McIntyre. I'm still going with Aguilar, and this has got the chance to be just one of those storybook type things with Joey Aguilar in Tennessee. We'll see how it goes. Have a great rest of your Friday. Frank, House of Orange, I'll see you when I see you.